All right, what's up, guys? How we doing? So, blinked twice. When tech billionaire Slater King is hosting a Met Gala fundraiser, our two main protagonists, Frida and Jess, played by Naomi Aki and Aaliyah Shawkat, they're both cocktail waitresses there. And Frida and Slater meet. They hit it off right away. There's some sort of chemistry going on. And so he invites her to his private island that he just bought. They go, the island's beautiful, they party, party, and party some more, and eventually the party stops. There seems to be something not right about this island. There's something very weird about what's going on. And this movie is directed by Zoe Kravitz. She also co wrote it with E.T. Feigenbaum. I apologize if I said that last name wrong. And she shows a lot of promise. I mean, this is a great debut. So Blink Twice is a very strange, trippy movie. From the very first scene when they're at the Met Gala, there's just something off by the way the characters are acting, by the way even the guests are acting at the event. It's very strange. There's something off. Like you can't quite put your finger on it, but it all almost just kind of feels like a fantasy. Specifically, also with how fast of a connection that Slater and Frida have with each other. This billionaire kind of what seems like he's falling for this cocktail waitress. It just doesn't seem right. It doesn't seems out of place. Like when Slater starts introducing Frida to all of his guests, all his like rich buddies. They're just like walking through, and there's a bunch of people. It's a party, it's an event, and this dude just walks by for a split second, and it's like, wait, was that Haley Joel Osment? And then another dude walks by, and it's like, wait, that's Simon Rex. Wait, Christian Slater. What the? Like I didn't look into this movie at all. I had saw a trailer once, and I went in pretty blind, so I had no idea these people were gonna be in it. But the way they made it seem was like, am I tripping? Was that I was questioning myself, like, was that Simon Rex? Like, what's going on? And then they end up being, main side characters in the movie. And then they get to the island, and it's just stranger and stranger. They're partying nonstop. They don't really seem to care that they're with these strangers that they literally just met 12 hours ago, maybe. I don't know how long the plane ride was. And they're partying, they're doing drugs, they're drinking. I mean, their dinners every night are insane. They're having like 8-course Michelin star restaurant quality meals just provided for them. It's dry aged state. They're drinking bottles of wine from like that are like 30 years old. And it's all way too good to be true. And we kind of get from the beginning, from the first scene, that Frida sort of has some sort of obsession with Slater, either like some sort of crush. She's always wanted to meet him or kind of idolizes him, maybe. And so I guess I understand why at first she's like kind of seems blinded by it all, by the fact that she just met all these people, all these strangers, like just 12 hours ago, if that. And it kind of made sense why she would be, because her friend Jess starts kind of understanding and kind of snapping out of that bender that they're all on. And she starts realizing that, like, what the fuck are we doing here? Like, like they take their phones at the beginning too, and she's like, what the fuck? And it's very weird. And I also thought Channing Tatum was great. He does a really good job at playing this like sad, rich, lonely guy who doesn't really necessarily care about all the money that he has. He's like looking for love, I guess. But at the same time, there's like something deranged and maniacal about him that he does a really good job at hiding. And the same with all the other dudes in this movie, all the other characters. Simon Rex, Christian Slater is in this movie, Haley Joel Osment. They're all kind of these weirdo, creepy dudes who are like happy all the time. They're never sad. They're down to do whatever. They're partying, they're doing drugs, and just something isn't quite right. And this movie is surprisingly pretty goddamn funny. It's all just really dark comedy, all dry humor. Christian Slater specifically, there's a scene at the end that just it's hilarious. And I also really like the humor in this movie too, because it just adds to the ambiguity of it all, to the unusual, peculiar elements that this movie is going for. And yeah, I mean, once you start, figuring out what's going on in this movie, once they start giving you all the pieces to the puzzle, and it just takes off in the third act, it gets crazier, it gets funnier, and you're just sitting in your seat, just having an absolute blast watching it all unfold. And the way this movie was shot kind of reminds me of like a Jordan Peele-esque type movie. like Get Out. There's a lot of close-ups on the characters' faces, not only head-on, but like not a Dutch angle necessarily, but like you're kind of looking up off to the side, and it just adds to the creepiness. There's a lot of wide shots, and the one big negative that I had for this movie was I think it was too long. It didn't really feel too long because I was pretty engaged the whole time. But it was what, an hour 45. It could have easily been a 90-minute movie, and it would have been great, because the buildup is just too long. There's a party scene in the middle where it's a montage. They're just showing them drink, party, doing drugs, the dinners that they're having, drink, party, having fun, and it's just the same thing over and over again. And I think if you cut a lot of that out, the buildup wouldn't be as long, because the problem is you're in the unknown. You're in the unknown for too long, and that doesn't make the best experience for a movie, because you're not like wondering like, oh, what's going on? What's gonna happen next? Like, you're just kind of sitting there watching it like, what the fuck is going on? Like, this seems so random. Like, I don't understand any of this. And I think if it was cut, if they just got to the reveal to what's actually happening faster, I think that would have made for a better experience. But yeah, overall, I mean, I actually really liked this movie. I thought it was awesome. So much fun to watch. And I think Zoe Kravitz, for her debut, did a fantastic job. She is without a doubt a director to keep an eye on. I'm excited to see what her next movie is. And yeah, I'll give this movie a solid 7.5. So yeah, those are just my thoughts, guys. I appreciate you watching. My name is Zach, and I'll see you on the next one.